Think about what Uber did to transportation. A car at your door in 4 minutes, an entire industry rebuilt from scratch by a startup with a simple idea. Then Netflix. In 2000, they offered to sell themselves to Blockbuster for $50 million. Blockbuster laughed. 15 years later, Blockbuster was gone and Netflix had 300 million subscribers. Now here's the question nobody is asking loudly enough. When does healthcare get its Uber moment? Healthcare is a $12 trillion global industry, the largest in the world, and yet it is decades behind in innovation. Drugs take 10 to 15 years to reach patients. Millions of people with chronic diseases wait months for appointments that a video call could replace. The potential to transform healthcare is not just enormous, it is urgent. There are thousands of brilliant founders working on exactly this right now, but most of them will never reach the patients they set out to help. Today, we're going to talk about why and what they can do about it. Here's a number that should stop you cold: 80%. That is the failure rate of healthcare technology startups. And for medtech specifically, as many as 98% fail within their first 2 years. Now compare that to the opportunity. Digital health startups globally raised $29.1 billion in 2024. In India alone, health tech funding hit $2.2 billion, a 26% jump from the year before. So the money is flowing in, the innovation is there, the need is real, and yet the products are dying before they reach patients. Why? Because building a great healthcare product is only half the battle. Getting it to patients means going through one group of gatekeepers: the hospitals, regulators, governments, and big pharmaceutical companies that control the channels every startup needs to reach scale. Partnering with them, that's where most startups crash. Take Neuranix, a Bengaluru startup that built a portable device delivering a complete blood count in 10 minutes from a single finger prick. No lab, no waiting room. They raised $700,000 in seed funding in 2024. The technology is real, the need is enormous, but can a 20-person team with that budget get into 10,000 rural clinics without a partner? Absolutely not. Or Courier AI, an AI company reading chest x-rays with radiologist-level accuracy, detecting TB and stroke, $87 million raised. And still, getting into large hospital networks requires navigating procurement committees, regulatory approvals, and IT upgrades that take years. Here's the brutal mismatch. A startup's runway is 18 to 24 months. The timeline to scale within a major healthcare institution is 3 to 5 years. That gap only closes with the right partner. Healthcare is not like other industries. You cannot disrupt it the way Uber disrupted taxis, ignoring the system and growing faster than regulators can catch up. In healthcare, regulation is non-negotiable. Every claim needs data, every device needs approval, and navigating that requires expertise, relationships, and time that startups simply don't have. This is why big pharma partnerships are not just helpful, they are existential. Think about what a company like Bayer or Roche brings. Decades of regulatory expertise, clinical networks spanning thousands of hospitals, distribution reaching patients in 100 countries, and institutional credibility that opens every door. And here's what often gets missed. These institutions share the same goal as the startups trying to reach them. A pharma company focused on heart failure doesn't just want to sell pills. They want better patient outcomes because better outcomes drive adherence, which drives their business. The startup and the pharma company want the same thing. The partnership is the bridge between innovation and impact. So why aren't more startups crossing it? After working with startups and inside large pharmaceutical companies, I've seen the same mistakes repeated over and over. Here are the 5 most common ones. Mistake 1: approaching too early. A prototype and a deck is not enough. Don't approach a major partner until you have real-world clinical data and a validated product. Big institutions are risk-averse. They need to see evidence, not potential. Mistake 2: not demonstrating product-market fit. Our AI predicts sepsis 6 hours early is a technology claim. We deployed this in 3 hospitals, and ICU mortality dropped 18% is a business case. Big institutions don't buy technology. They buy proven outcomes. Mistake 3, no clinical evidence. In healthcare, clinical evidence is the entry ticket. A peer-reviewed study, a regulatory clearance, phase 2 trial data. Without it, you will hear the same words over and over. Interesting. Come back when you have more data. And many startups run out of money before they ever get there. Mistake 4, talking to the wrong person. This one is sneaky because it feels like progress. A startup spends 6 months building a relationship with someone who turns out to have no budget and no approval authority. In pharma, the person who is excited about your product and the person who can sign the deal are almost never the same person. Always ask, who else needs to be involved in a decision like this? Mistake 5. Failing to show mutual benefit. Walking into a pharma company and saying, we need your distribution, your network, and ideally some funding, without clearly explaining what they get in return, ends the conversation before it starts. Your pitch must answer their question, not yours. Lead with their benefit, not your need. So how do you get it right? 5 steps. First, build your evidence before you build your outreach. Get real patient data. Get regulatory clarity. Put numbers behind your value proposition. Second, target precisely. Identify 5 to 10 institutions whose strategic priorities align with your clinical focus. Quality of targeting beats volume every time. Third, find your internal champion. One senior advocate inside the organization who believes in your work and can navigate the institution on your behalf is worth more than 50 cold emails. Fourth, frame everything around their problem. Open with their unmet need. Show how you solve it. Then show what the partnership gives them, not what you need from them. Fifth, propose a pilot, not a partnership. A small, defined, low-risk pilot is the single fastest path to a full commercial agreement. It lowers their risk to near zero and lets the data do the rest of the talking. Remember this, research shows healthcare buyers are 70% through their decision process before they ever contact a vendor. The first vendor they reach out to wins 84% of the time. So your job is to be visible and credible in your target institution's world long before they start looking. Publish, speak, engage, be the name that comes up. Healthcare's Uber moment is coming, but unlike Uber, you cannot move fast and break things in this industry. You move fast without the right partners and you don't disrupt the system. You just get shut out of it. The startups that will transform healthcare are not necessarily the ones with the best technology. They are the ones who understand that building a great product is only the beginning, and that the real game is building the right partnerships at the right time, in the right way. If you found this useful, subscribe, because this is exactly what we cover. Business strategy, healthcare innovation, and what it actually takes to build something that reaches patients at scale. I'll see you in the next one.